Hello, everyone. Today we are with Julie Olson. She's triple nutritionist, and I'm so glad to have her. This is the second time, but this time we're going to talk about PTSD and autoimmune hair loss. Be with us till the end and join us if you have any questions. Another episode of Green Healing Show with Julie Olson. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be back.
All right. Last time this is the third time actually. I said second time. We had
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We
Well, we
had
did the
you.
summit for the
Yeah,
second.
we also did the amazing summit and we had a lot of fun there. And now we are with her with hair loss and PTSD. Okay, tell me about yourself first. I know you've been in another show, but for people who just watching us right now.
Like I'm a triple certified nutrition expert. I specialize in female hair loss, the gut and gluten issues. Yeah, yeah. So
Great.
yeah.
So, how did you start your journey?
How did I start my journey into being a nutritionist?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, it started with a phone call when I was working at Warner Brothers in Burbank, California as a senior media research analyst. And the call was that my mom had stage 3 breast cancer and was having emergency surgery the next day. So I am very close to her. I decided soon after to move back to Colorado to support her in the ordeal and worked in television. And as I was searching for why she got so sick, I realized I was putting blinders on my own health. And I realized the power of food and nutrition as the basis for health. And I quit my media career and went back to school, became a nutritionist. And it's been 10 years now. And I love it. Absolutely love it.
Great. I just want to see the relationship between hair loss and PTSD, all the emotions involved. I know a lot of people lose their child, lose their career, and then they lose their hair. All of them come together. So tell me about this. How does it affect our hormones, our body, and at the end, how we lose our hair?
It's a really good question. And I know you specialize in PTSD, and it's definitely a major root cause, not only for hair loss, but all health conditions. And I would put PTSD in the same category as chronic stress. We all have stress, but having chronic stress and just trauma. A lot of people have trauma, which you discover after, well, I discover after I do a questionnaire with an initial intake. And it's it's really prevalent today because a lot of people think they're still being they're running away from a lion. People are go, go, go. They don't shut off their computers, their phones. They go all night and then they expect to function and their body doesn't know the difference whether they're running away from a lion or just doing what they're doing and not stopping. And it really is taking a toll on our health. Just and the last thing to happen would be your hair loss. So, I mean, a lot of other health conditions get bad in the meantime, but then ultimately you will lose your hair. Uh,
Yeah, lose. But so I remember one of my friends lose in the middle of losing her job. She had it for a long time, and then she said, I'm feeling that I'm losing my hair. That's come with all the stress that she had and all the emotional pressure. So
sure,
how does it work? Is it I know from the functional medicine point, you have to look at the cortisol level, you have to look at other hormones balances, and
sure.
then, yeah, how do you recognize it, and how do you find the root cause?
That's a really good question. And it's doing I use the Living Matrix. It's a functional medicine questionnaire and actually puts together a client's timeline and their matrix, which is different than what you do in conventional medicine. You would In conventional medicine, you probably go see a dermatologist if you're having hair loss, and they'll just diagnose you as having a certain type. And the only solutions they have is like laser or taking Rogaine or some pharmaceuticals, or and then hair companies have these expensive serums, but they're not getting to the root cause. And the root cause of hormone imbalance and autoimmune hair loss, the root cause of most everything is in the gut. As you know, Pantea, you're studying functional medicine. And I it's important.
You were disconnected. I mean, that was, maybe it's from me. I don't know.
No, you're studying functional medicine, right? What? I lost you. It's frozen. Pantea? It froze.
Yeah, we froze, but that's fine. That's recording. We can handle it. Okay. So you start from the questionnaire.
I start from the questionnaire, and it asks things that a practitioner would not normally ask or have time to ask. It takes someone a couple hours to fill it out. And it definitely asks questions about stress and trauma, and you can experience that from, it's either physical or it's emotional, mental. Ask all these different questions on a scale of 1 to 5. How is your stress financially? How is your stress personally? How is your stress, all these different ways, because there's different ways we can manifest it. Yeah. So
Great. You also send me some presentation. Do you want to go through them?
sure, sure. Okay, so you can see up in the bubbles, that's conventional medicine. They send you to a dermatologist, they send you to a cardiologist, and then they have to refer you out if you have a question. um, they just stay in their bubble. But the roots of functional medicine and nutrition starts with, look at the bottom, it's sleep and restoration, and movement, nutrition, hydration, stress,
Oh,
resilience.
sorry.
Uh,
What? Yeah.
Stress and resilience is a major root cause.
Yeah.
Relationships, which can be stressful, networks, trauma. Look, there's trauma there. Um, Microorganisms, environmental pollutants, which can be a stress on your system as well. And then the timeline is put into antecedents, triggers, and mediators. And antecedents are usually genetic predispositions, but they also ask if what type of birth you had, because if you're a C-section, you're not getting all those probiotics, so that's can be end up being a trigger. And then mediators, what's making making things worse, keeping things as they are instead of getting better. And then it breaks it out into the different core clinical imbalances, which when you'll see in the questionnaire, it all overlaps. Um, Energy, transport, assimilation, detox. I mean, because it actually creates each client's living matrix. It's like a spider web. And so that's where you start seeing the pieces of their health puzzle. And that's where I figure out what functional labs they should have or not, and start putting the pieces together. Um, Whereas if I just had just a small questionnaire or something, I wouldn't be able to see the whole picture of what's going on with this person. Um, Like I was saying on your summit, hair loss, it builds up just like, any disease that you can see pattern. I can see patterns in their questionnaire and in their timeline of something developing 10 years prior. So that's why it's so important to actually have this timeline created for each client, because each client has a different solution. It's not a cookie cutter approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here, as I see it, it's very tiny. I know you had difficulty to look at this because it doesn't go bigger than this right now. But as I see here, this the signs and symptoms can be your immune system, can be your cardiology, or any endocrine issues you have in your body,
Sure.
or catastrophe, trauma, as you said. So many things connected to each other, you lose your hair.
Right. Now, if you're
Yeah.
stressed, if you have chronic stress, it's almost impossible to really absorb your nutrients.
Hmm.
Or if you've got and then it becomes a vicious cycle, because 80% of our immune system is in our gut. And we produce more serotonin in our gut than in our brain. And if you lay out the lining of our gut, it's as big as a tennis court. And it's our small intestine with the microvilli that absorb the nutrients. So, especially in the case of hair loss, um, these microvilli, they're often glued down. For example, that's what happened with me. I didn't know I had a gluten intolerance. So I was eating a ton, but my microvilli that absorbed the nutrients was just glued down. I became anemic, and eventually my hair started falling out like crazy. Um, so that's another reason I don't want other women to have to suffer way, because I didn't know before I got into this field. I didn't know what else to do besides go to the dermatologist who wanted me to go on Rogaine, and thank goodness I didn't, because that's a life sentence. You have to take that every month for the rest of your life, or your hair will fall out that you gained from the Rogaine. And it just blocks some processes. So it's not you have bad side effects as well. And there's some other pharmaceuticals out there. But the point of this conversation is definitely PTSD. Stress is a major root cause. Um, but so is the health of our gut. And um, to prove the point, there's been some clinical studies. I'm going to mention 4 of them, where these subjects, 4 different people, had hair loss. A couple of them had what's called alopecia universalis. That means they lost hair not only on their head, but all over their body. And they were all told they would never grow back their hair. It would be impossible. But they did what I call the gut reset. And I'll tell you after what it was. I'm going to first tell you the results. So, one was a 20-year-old man. He had resistant C. diff, and he underwent this procedure. Afterward, he grew a full head of hair, and hair on his body where he hadn't seen hair for years. Another was a 38-year-old man, again with alopecia universalis. And he saw dramatic improvements. I have a before and after picture of that on my abstract. And then a 34-year-old woman who had colitis, she had a remarkable hair growth after the procedure. And then an 86-year-old man who had history of colon cancer, depression, and diarrhea. He went under afterwards. His hair grew back and all his health markers dramatically improved. So
Wow.
want to know what this procedure was?
Oh, what? What
It's
was it?
called the fecal microbia transplant. And what they do is they take fecal matter from a healthy donor, and they have it in a capsule form. And what it does is it resets their whole microbiome, their gut microbiome, which we know now is so important because if you have a healthy microbiome, you could even grow your hair, which was told years ago completely impossible. So this is just a documented set of studies proving that if you reset your gut, you can pretty much, I mean, that's why functional medicine says everything starts in the gut. Hippocrates said way back when, good health starts in the gut. And that's another reason why PTSD, stress, and so forth needs to get under control because it affects your gut. Your gut, it's really hard to have a healthy gut if you're completely stressed out all the time. And like I said earlier, it's really difficult to absorb those nutrients. And our hair follicles, our scalp is another microbiome. And they're saying it's the forgotten organ because it requires such an enormous amount of nutrients and energy that a lot of researchers are calling it like the forgotten organ. And so it's really, really important to be absorbing those nutrients. And if you're not, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The last thing
Mm,
that happens usually is hair loss. So um,
yeah.
you
It's
need
good to have these hidden layers to know what's happening to your body. As we do always in functional medicine, we always go for the hormone balance, nutrition, everything, check, check, check. And then finally you see, oh, your hair is growing. And sometimes you really don't need to have too much other surgeries or other things for your hair.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm trying to get the word out about because
yeah.
it's not a lost cause and you don't have to do these expensive. I mean, who wants to have a hair transplant or these expensive treatments that don't always work anyway? Um, it's just, and then experiencing it myself, I mean, it can be devastating.
Yeah.
And then something I want to point out is being that our hair follicles have such high cellular turnover, it's very, very important to address hair loss as soon as you notice it. Because if you let it go too long, what can happen is it's called miniaturization. Your follicles become very tiny and scarring can take place. And this is especially true for women's hair loss. And what happens is the more shedding, the faster the miniaturization takes place. And this can lead to scar tissues compacting all hair follicles, making it nearly impossible to regrow your hair.
Wow.
And it's quite extreme to do the fecal transplant. I mean, it's hard to get. And the only reason I bring it up is to prove a point, but it's not like you can go out and get one tomorrow. Not now. It's starting to become approved. I think in Canada it's more readily available. Canada and Europe are always ahead of us. um, but I brought that up to prove a point how important it is to get your microbiome healthy. And
Thank you. Is there any, do you want to explain this one as well? All the
sure,
root causes? Yeah.
sure. Well, so chronic inflammation can obviously can be compacted by trauma, PTSD, gut imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, high DHT. That's a type of testosterone that gets elevated when your gut is not healthy and it goes down the wrong pathway. Um, Viruses, and oh my gosh, with the pandemic, women, especially because of their complex hormonal system, are having a horrible time a month to 6 months after with hair loss. Like it's unbelievable. But yeah, all these other, there's so many there's over 30 different causes: heavy metal overload, medications, poor circulation, low intake of fiber, protein, antioxidants, uh, a fatty balance, the wrong balance of omega-3s to omega-6s, too high of omega-6, dehydration, detoxification issue. I mean, it's just there's parasites. It just goes on and on. But I mean, most of these, if you look at them overall, we all have exposures to pathogens and parasites and viruses every day. But if our gut isn't healthy, we can't fend them off. So, if you look at this entire tree, pretty much all of it, besides the PTSD, trauma, and some outside forces, all start in the gut. Oh, we can't hear you. Pantea, we can't hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. I was muted. Okay. Uh, that explains everything right now. I can see the relationship between nutrition, PTSD, gut, especially. There are other factors also, as you presented in that tree, that can cause hair loss. I just have your website here, and your Instagram account and Facebook. What do you have on your website?
As far as the hair loss, I have a free quiz so you can start to figure out what type of hair loss you have. And that's really important for someone like myself, that to fix it, I need to first find out what type you have, what are the root causes. And then I have a 10-point checklist of what you can do now for hair loss. And I have a free gut download of a gut guide, a digestive health quiz. Those are my ones.
Some of these freebies you gave me for the summit, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
if they join the summit link, we already had our summit, but I will put the summit link there as well. If they want, they can get the freebies. They're awesome. So there are lots of other guides and freebies there they can access. Do you have any suggestion for whoever, especially females, losing their hair? What's the first action they have to do?
They need to contact me or somebody like me to figure out, like I said earlier, what type, what causes, and then we need to figure out a plan. I need to do some functional labs, and then I'll put together a protocol for them. But in the meantime, you need circulation. You need the nutrients through your blood supply getting to your hair. So you can massage your hair, you can stand on your hands, stand on your head, just some simple hacks like that. Use some real clean shampoos that don't have all those chemicals, that are gluten free. Um, Clean up your diet, stay away from any foods you're sensitive to or intolerant to. That just causes more inflammation. Um, yeah, those are some initial things they can do now. Yeah. I I can't hear you again.
Sorry, do you have any last word?
Um, let's see. Yeah, so even we didn't talk about it too much, but autoimmune alopecia, and the most common one is alopecia areata, often referred to as AA, and that's what was brought to light by Will Smith at the Oscars when he slapped Chris Rock, because he that joke was not in good taste about his wife, who has that type of alopecia. And it's been kind of a secret with women, because they can easily throw on a wig or hair extensions. And now that it's brought to light and that there are some natural solutions that aren't causing a bunch of side effects and having to be on pharmaceuticals the rest of your life, you know, you're not alone. There's support and there's hope. So
Yeah.
give that some thought.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Julie, for being here. I wish to have you more and more in more summits and other events.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Please subscribe to Pantea Kalhor Transition channel and order my book, The Gap, in Amazon. Thank you for watching.